that because there's a graphic there?
All right, kids, we are live.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Why is that not up? Little project board here.
All right, let's do it, man. We are live.
We are live, Cubs friends. And I am splitting screens. There we go. I got a new monitor, little monitor extender here because I like to work on the lanai.
Sounds fun. Sounds hot.
But however, I just hooked it up and your voice was coming through it instead of my ears. It's weird. So I'm gonna have to IT technical that. And
Yeah, just submit a ticket.
Submit the ticket. Okay. For the Geek Squad. Uh-oh.
And he's gone, folks. And
I can hear you. What's happening right now? Hello?
Maybe we shouldn't have went live. Maybe until we were ready. I don't know.
Hold on.
Like I'm here. We're all waiting on you. We're waiting on you to start the show. You're in the room twice for some reason, so
this is the weirdest thing.
Okay, are you good? Like, you want to start the show?
No, because I literally hear it twice.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
Hey, good. Let's go.
One time. Here we go, Cubs friends. We're live. All right. Well, there was a text message exchange last night, and somebody in this little show, Neil, said, I can't watch. Do you want to explain to some Cubs friends just maybe a little bit of your background and why you just told me that you couldn't watch a Cubs game, even though you've played baseball since you were 5? Uh-oh, you're frozen, sir.
Yeah, man. So it's so much easier to play and coach than it is to be a fan. It's unbelievable. I've never witnessed anything like it, to be honest with you. I had an easier time with the World Series. I really did. I don't know what happened last night, but and I'll be honest with you guys. That's why we're doing this live. That's why we're doing it now. After Wednesday's game, we were supposed to record like we always do on Wednesday, and I just couldn't do it. I could not do it. I was so frustrated, so mad, so upset. And then it was like, I don't want to record because I don't want to say anything. I'm not going to jinx these guys. I'm not going to throw my thoughts and opinions out into the atmosphere just to cause bad things to happen. So that's why we just pushed it to tonight. So we'll do it live. That'll be the episode. And here we are, folks. So, hey, you're watching along with us. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you comment, it'll show up on our screen. We'll get to see it. And we can chat along with you. But tell me what you were thinking last night.
Well, I was thinking, man, it's a lot easier to sit on a bucket in the middle of a Sweet 16 perfect game matchup and call pitches than watch that. So, yeah, my feelings were very sentimental to yours as far as not being able to watch. However, I just, at this point, I have about a 12-foot putting green out here. So I'm either going to make the senior tour or have an aneurysm. I don't really know. At this point, I don't think there's a middle ground. So it's all good though. I had a good time. I'm having fun. And I think that's probably where you and I match up the best here, is that what we give and what we understand about the game. And for the first time really in our lives, we are not a player or a coach of baseball. and we've stepped away for a couple of years now from the coaching standpoint. And now we've actually turned our focus to like an outlet, if you will, with the Cubs. And it's been refreshing for me, because it really didn't give a dang about baseball for a couple of years after I stepped away from coaching. So it's been a blessing, and this team's been a lot of fun to watch. And when I tweet out baseball is fun, I mean it. I'm having a lot of fun. So it's been a good time.
No, yeah. I mean, and that's like, I wasn't joking when I said I can't watch. I literally did not watch the last 3 outs, and I'm glad I didn't. I would have absolutely lost my mind. I went back into my bedroom and I turned on I went to ESPN2 and turned on the beginning of the Yankees Red Sox game and watched that first inning just because. And I'm glad. I mean, my phone was going. I mean, like, you just hit that guy, and then it was like we just hit another guy, and it's like, oh my gosh, like what are we doing?
Did they go split screen?
Man,
did they go split screen on ESPN2 at all with the Cubs game?
No, they did not, and I'm
so
thankful for it. I would have had to go hide in the bathroom.
All right, how about this though? What if it was flipped? What if that was ESPN2 and it was the Cubs we were waiting on the Cubs game to start on the main network, right? But the you're right. Would they have brought the Dodgers or the Yankees game onto that screen where you were at with the Yankees on?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We're going to interrupt.
According to ESPN, according to ESPN, everyone's playing for second, right? It's the Dodgers league. We're all just happy to be here.
That's right. Well, it was good to.
All right, so this format, like you. What's that?
It was good to dispose of Dad, though. The Dodgers might be out there, but we did get rid of Dad.
Oh yeah. And from what I've saw post-game video, they did not go quietly. I tell you what, having the umpires leave through their dugout is a bad decision. Like, Major League Baseball needs to do something about that. I don't know. I don't know. There's no good place in Wrigley for them to exit. It's almost like they just need to go through center field. But at that point, then you got fans throwing beer on them and all that stuff. So right. I don't know, man.
Through his tunnel.
But so we're gonna go through a couple topics. We already hit number one was I can't watch. That was definitely me last night. Fights with Dad, lessons learned, Brew Crew preview, like, love, and hate. What do I like? What do I hate? What do I love about the Brewers matchup? And then question and answer. If anybody that's watching live has any questions or anything like that, feel free to chime in, ask, text, whatever you want to do. We would love to answer some. But let's move on to fights with Dad. Key plays, matchups that stood out for you in the game, in each game, actually. Just a quick recap of the series.
Sure. For me, I wrote down on game one, Danny P. What a huge unknown for the last 2 weeks of the season. And that's tough to, we played, quote, closerless, because before right after he got his light show was right about the time he went down. And we really didn't know what version of Danny we were going to get. And when that bullpen door swings open and he's the first one running out, you're like, oh, okay, well, here we go. And he absolutely delivered everything that we needed right there. And so I think that was the key moment. That was the key fight right there with the Dads was what Danny P was going to deliver. And he really just kind of put them out to really allow the rest of the bullpen just to keep punching on a wounded duck, if you will, or wounded dog, or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, 100%. And I really like their coach. I like their coaching staff. And he was super classy. I mean, obviously the whole thing when they left the dugout, you could say that's classless, whatever. But he was super classy when they in the post game when he said, we don't give an MVP in this round, but if there was an MVP to give in this round, it's Dansby Swanson.
Yeah.
And that Dansby's defense single-handedly beat them in Game 3, and
Yep.
I couldn't agree more. Like Dansby, you know, um, all the things, big fans be a Dansby the Mansby, whatever you want to say. Like
Right.
he was on one last night, and he was not. He was just not going to be denied. Um, and
Well, I
it's
tweeted
you've
about
said it.
all 3 games, right? I mean, he had a note in all 3 games. So I think Schilt had it right. That was an MVP type of a performance from the shortstop for the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, and you've said it all year long. Like if you put Dansby in the 8 hole,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what he hits because he's my slick fielding shortstop who's going to, his the amount of runs he's going to save defensively. He can hit whatever he wants in the 9 hole.
Yep.
Or the 8 hole because his defense is it.
Yep.
So what? Let's just go ahead and jump to the next one. What did we learn? What did we learn from the wild card round, and what do the Cubs need to bring forward? Well, hold on. Before we go there, I think we are doing ourselves a disservice if we don't also address Nico.
Sure. Yeah. That was my game 2 note. So my game 1 note was Danny P. Game 2, and then I'll give a story for game 3 actually before we run on, because it's kind of funny. Nico, unlucky. I started texting you that unlucky, and I think you were somewhere between like radio and TV, or at that point, some kind of deal. And I was like, we're unlucky. We're just Nico smoked 2 balls that should have driven in runs in that game, and that just didn't happen. And then the other note there was just Mason Miller. Good Lord. I mean, just 104, 103. So I have a question for you, though. Okay. Knowing that he cost San Diego their #1 prospect, and our top 5 prospects, we've seen basically everything but Jackson Wiggins at this point. Would you have given up any one of those 5 guys plus 1 or 2 other guys that weren't of those 5 that we know for Mason Miller?
You were breaking up really bad there. I have no idea I'm guessing would I have given up anybody for Mason Miller?
Yeah, the 5. So if you have, we know our top 5, they had to give up their #1, and then I think like 15 and 30 for Mason Miller. Would you have given up any one of our top 5 to lead a package for a Mason Miller now that you've seen what he can do and what he did to us?
Yeah, so that's a tough because our #1 at the time, who was it? It was #1 still considered Cade Horton? Because then the answer is no.
Right.
And I believe Cade Horton still has prospect status, to my knowledge. So it would have been Cade, and if he's our #1 prospect, no, I'm not giving that up for whatever's left on his deal. Because at the end of the day, he can be as valuable as he wants to be. He's going to be sitting on his couch watching the game tomorrow.
There you go. That was what I was going for there. I at hindsight 2020, all that, like, yeah, 104 and gas, but we figured out how to survive that. And we did that, and we're doing the same thing with Kittredge, Palencia, some homegrown guys, some pickup guys. Like, it doesn't have to cost your farm system to put together a bullpen to win a postseason series. And I think Jed did a fantastic job as far as that's concerned, because while Mason Miller would have made that series a lot easier, I like our prospects still in our barn, considering what we've seen from each of them so far.
Yeah.
So, and
I agree.
The third game 3, real quick one, Michael Busch home run. I was texting my dad about golf tee times. It's my birthday today. So he's like, hey, what time do you want to play golf? And I was like, and then he said, is it always this stressful being a Cubs fan?
Yes.
And I said, the next score wins. And then like 3 pitches later, Busch hits the dinger. And now I'm playing golf on Sunday with my dad. So not on Saturday because we have a game now. There you go.
Yeah. That's another thing we can get into later. The off days are weird. Seems weird to play Saturday, be off Sunday, and then again Monday, all in Milwaukee. Usually, I thought it was usually, you bang the 2 out and then your off day is a travel day, which is, so now we just have 2 off days. So that's weird. Yep. It's only going to help us, though, since they made the announcement today that Cade Horton is obviously not going to throw and not going to be on the roster for the NLDS. So it's only going to help us because we need guys to get some rest. So,
yeah. All
right. Lessons learned. What did we learn from the wild card round? What do the Cubs need to bring forward to the NLDS?
Number one for me is when the trapper keeper or the binder takes over, it really takes over. Like that's it. Like there's no more gut decisions. Like we saw it with he left Michael Busch in. He pitched to Manny with Shota. He could have pitched around him or changed pitchers, right? Like those are all gut things. But you noticed in every part of every game when the binder said this is the matchup, and then for the rest of the afternoon, it was matchup, guy down the list. So there's no more guts for Craig once the trapper keeper takes over. And then probably my next one is the easiest one for me next that I really don't love, but it has to happen is the bridging of relievers where they throw the third out and then they have to come back. I hate sitting relievers. It sucks. And then welcome to the postseason PCA. This is going to be fun. Like watching him for another 3 to 5 games in the postseason is just the most electric thing right now in sports. And I'm here for it. I'm glad he showed up to the postseason and he's entertaining us. What about you? What's hot for you this?
Absolutely. 100%. No, yeah, PCA, I think we saw a lot of guys that were really, really freaking cold get kind of hot towards the end of the last game there. Tucker kind of carried the end of he finally got a hit at the end of game 2, and then first 2 plate appearances in game 3 got a hit. Ian Happ ripped a double with some exit velo. I feel like Seiya was really cruising into the postseason, into game 1, and then it's kind of cooled off a little bit. I would love to see him pick it back up, but I feel like Ian Happ is kind of right over that. I think we're on the way down now with him, or on the way back up with him, because that's how his whole career has always been like that. A lot of really high highs, really low lows, and when you look at his career numbers, he's right down the middle. So I think we're due for a really hot streak from Ian, and I'm excited about that. And PCA he's PCA, man. When he's on, he's freaking hair on fire on, and when he's off, he's off. But when he's off, he's still flying around the outfield making plays. So,
all right, I got one question before we move on to the preview. Okay. Before we move on and turn our eyes that way, I want you to fill in the blank. You ready? Finish this sentence. I'm concerned about
starting pitching.
Okay.
And I say that the reason I say that is I don't know who we have that can throw. I mean, so Tuesday's not that far away, right? So we threw Boyd Tuesday, Shota and Ray Wednesday, and then Tyone Thursday. So I mean, who's throwing Saturday?
They announced Matthew Boyd is the starting pitcher for Saturday. So let's flip this over. Let's flip topics here, and let's go to series preview. Here we go. The Brew Crew preview.
So that's
game is Saturday, and that is
that's 4 days rest. Like I'm
Yeah, and a hard bullpen, and a really hard bullpen the other night because he was getting up the throat. So even if that was his bullpen day, he was, mentally he's gearing up to go into a ball game. So that's high stress bullpen. I would guess that it looks like this. You go Boyd for 9 outs to 12 outs, because if he can keep his pitch count down and he can win those 9 to 12 outs, even though he's on a 3/4 rest, if then he can come back and close game 4 or 5 type of situation. So he's available twice in the series. Without Cade Horton, you're going to need either Shota or Boyd to throw twice.
Do you like the fact that they've been setting for a week?
I do. They're one of those like routine teams. They're one of those, they just get hot. They stay hot. They string a few hits together. I like it. Hey, roster talk real quick. Did they announce the whole roster or just that Cade is not going to be on it?
Yeah, you might have to go with that again. You locked up after I asked the question, so I didn't really.
Did they announce the entire roster or just that Cade's not on it?
I think they just announced that Cade wasn't on it. That's all I saw today anyway, but I haven't really been paying much of attention. So
okay.
I've been trying to at least take one day. What?
The other note I had for roster talk was Amaya. Did they make any announcements on Amaya today?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not that I saw anyway.
All right, so then they had not announced Boyd. I just saw that right before we went live. So Boyd is game 1 right now. And then Monday night is TBD. I think the lineup's going to look a lot the same. It's another righty. So until they roll out a lefty, which do they have a lefty? I mean,
I don't.
Woodruff, Peralta. I think we're going to see pretty much the same lineup that we're seeing right now. So, how do you feel about the lineup carrying over against against Peralta in game 1 on Saturday?
Yeah, you locked up again. So I have no idea what you just said. I know you were talking, but
log off and come right back, folks. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's Maybelline.
No. Yeah, no. Let's not. Let's okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. So, do you want to go through your pitching matchup that you tried to get through twice?
Yeah, it's Peralta versus Boyd. So what you're going to see in the lineup is going to be rolling out. As far as Craig is concerned, it seems like that's the right-handed lineup that we've got. Ian Happ in the 3-hole. Are there any changes to the lineup from where we're the San Diego series that you feel would be a more strength against that right-handed that lineup?
I don't think he changes the lineup. If he was going to change it, he would have changed game 3. No, I do not see that. That's not on my radar at all. But I've been wrong before when it comes to Craig, so we'll see. But I think he doesn't leave. I think he, there's a lot of guys in there. We didn't see Castro at all. We didn't see Justin Turner. So there's a lot of guys we didn't see.
Sure.
So I don't know. And maybe this is a longer series. Maybe we'll see some of those guys.
It's just a pitching matchup thing at this point. And that one, there was a couple parts early where Craig could have gone against Bush and he let him stay. So, and it's a good thing he did because he got him an eighth inning home run there. So, it's a good spot. The matchup in and of itself, how do you feel about little brother? How do you feel about Milwaukee? the path that we have taken to get here to this matchup of Milwaukee being the 1 seed? Do you fear this matchup? Do you like it? Where do you sit on this?
Yeah, for some reason I don't fear the matchup, and maybe that's bad. Maybe this is the coach's curse in me talking, and everything's going to go downhill from here. But I believe all of the season series that we had with them, we won all of them. And I just, the phenomenal, unbelievable second coming of Paul Skeens 2.0, their all-star after only 5 outings or 5 innings or 5 pitches, whatever it was. He doesn't really scare me. I think we've knocked him around twice now. So you can look at that either way. You can look at that like we've got something on him, or you can look at it like he's due and he's just going to absolutely, water's going to find its level and he's going to just mow right through the order. I tell you what doesn't scare me is their bullpen does not scare me near as much as San Diego's did.
Right.
San Diego's bullpen was terrifying. And, it was like game 3 was one of those weird things because it was like you want the damage, but at the same time, it's like, I want you, Darvish, to stay in here through 4.
Right.
Like maybe somebody hit a ground ball here so we can keep him in another 2 innings.
Yeah. Even guys throwing the third day in a row.
We were going to touch him up. I really did.
I was just waiting for them to fire Mason Miller, but he probably shelved himself at that point. Like, hey, I want to win this thing, but I for the sake of life, I would rather not. I'd rather throw in 2026 too. But a longer series, maybe that's a different deal. We played him heads up. If each series is a reflection of the series that we've played against any one of these playoff teams, the only team that I really fear is the Phillies. I think we matched up well with the Dodgers. We played them heads up early, and that was the best version of the Cubs. We came out of spring training with the best version of ourselves. We played that against the Padres. That was a heads up series where we split it. You said earlier, we've won every series with the Padres. So I do agree with I don't have an unsettling feeling. The Padres scared the crap out of me. The Brewers, I think, is going to be an entertaining series where I think we're going to see a lot more offense. And we're just going to have to buckle up with that because it's not all the games are at Wrigley. So their park plays a lot different than Wrigley right now in this time of year. And we're just going to have to buckle up for a couple nights. And that's going to be a tough one, especially for you.
Yeah, the thing that scares me about the Brewers, that I felt like San Diego has a lot of stars, right? And they have a ton of guys who hit a ball to shortstop and then start trotting back to the dugout and realize, oh crap, Dansby dropped it, I better run. A lot of guys that are, give it the Machado treatment, like I hit a sharp ground ball, I'm just going to jog this out. Tatis is the same way. When's the last time that guy ran hard anywhere? Like, I think San Diego has enough of that to where it's a problem, right? But Milwaukee has none of that. Like those guys never die. I think if you got a 4-run lead on which never happened, but I'm saying if you got a 4-run lead on San Diego, like they're just going to check out. Because they're too cool. They don't want to mess up the drip and all the chains and all the stuff and Milwaukee doesn't have Milwaukee. They're lunch pail guys. Like those guys are. I can't tell you how many times they've been. Since the All-Star break when you and I were forced to be scoreboard watching instead of just rooting for our team. Where they've been down 5 runs and we're like, oh, hey, Milwaukee's losing. And then, one of us texts back like, 2 hours later and be like, Milwaukee just took the lead. Like,
Yeah.
Milwaukee's down 5-0. Awesome. It's going to be a good day. Milwaukee's up 9-5. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
What the hell?
It was one. It
So
was an epic.
that's what scares me about Milwaukee is no lead is safe.
Sure. So let's lead that right into this next little part here. So, what do you like? What do you hate? And what do you love about this series? What are you looking forward to here?
What do I like? I like that we're still playing baseball. And I hate that it's Milwaukee. And I love that it's Milwaukee, if that makes any sense at all.
Absolutely.
I hate that it's Milwaukee because I don't like rivalry games in the postseason. I just never been a fan of the rivalry stuff in the postseason. Like, that stuff's for regular season. Like, when we had the division series against the Cardinals, I hate that stuff. I hate it. Like we see these guys enough. Like, but what I love about it being Milwaukee is I feel like we'll travel well, and I feel like there'll be tickets.
I do. Yeah. Especially with these, the Cubs seem to be getting these day game slots. It's like, oh, they play enough of those. Everybody's used to it. I saw a couple of tweets earlier this week, like, I guess nobody in Chicago works. These games are all sold out already. That's just Wrigley for you. We talked about that. We had maybe 4 or 5 segments all year just about Wrigley, just about the atmosphere, and you were there. You were there. So, you said I handled a World Series game a lot better than that. So that was brought, and I love that we get more baseball at Wrigley. So here's my like. I like that all of our bats checked in, and I feel like we're pretty grooved. And I love that we're playing our little brother in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I do. But here's one that we might want to sit on for just a minute. I hate that we have the second best manager in this series. Because a 5-game
ours
series
does not eat pocket pancakes.
Yeah, where does he get all that batter? Like, is there somebody back there just making them in the clubhouse? It's like they have a clubhouse pancake attendant.
It's
somebody's got to make this stop. Like, you can't be cooking food in the dugout. Like, that's a fire hazard. They got Yelich on a hot plate back there, just making little pancakes for Skip.
Look, they got to be fiber pancakes with all those freaking cheese curds they eat.
Oh my God.
I mean, those guys got to be locked up for weeks.
Yeah, they got little grandmas bringing cookies. I mean, that run that they had was just had to have been fueled by everybody's grandma chipping in at once. Like there was unbelievable. But again, love that we're matching up with them. I'm excited for this. I'm excited that it's mapped out here. We got a little weekend baseball and some baseball next week that'll really just. And I'm excited. It's. Again, I'm either going to be I'm probably going to have an aneurysm, but I might make the pro tour by a senior tour if I can make all these putts here, because that's about all I got going for me right now to keep me calm. If you have any other ideas, I'd entertain them.
Right. All right. So did you give all 3? You're
all 3. I hate that we have the second best manager in the series. I love that we're playing little brother, and I really like that our bats seemed very grooved.
Yeah, okay.
Right? I love our offense. Yeah. I like our offense where we're at. I don't love it,
Yeah.
but it's good playoff baseball. I think it's going to change a little bit. We're going to have to, you mentioned this, and that was huge, that 4-run lead. And we flirted with that last night with the Bush home run and then the rest of that inning. And there were several instances last night and where we just never put that fourth run up. And that's what it's gonna take this series. It's not gonna be the 3-run lead. It's not gonna be, we've got a 2-run lead in the 6th, and we're gonna throw hammers at them for the rest of the bullpen. No, they're not gonna die, and no lead's gonna be safe. So I that's gonna scare me as far as that is concerned. But I feel like the offense in this series for both, for all baseball, I think both, even the Yankees series, this Dodgers series, I think the offense is going to be a little bit more. Everybody's here now. The best teams are here. Yes, pitching is there, but I think you're going to see bats really start like, okay, I got my first playoff hit. Now let's go eat. And that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that's our show. Can't get off here without wishing the big guy a happy birthday today. I mean, do you feel another year older?
Man, it's, no.
You do?
Golf. I don't. I played golf today and I played great. I'm okay. I check in great at 45. I'm good.
Good. I love it. Meanwhile, I feel every bit of it.
It's that northern living, man. You got to get where the summers are warm, bro.
Trust me, I am working on that.
87 today. It was 87. Right. I shot lower than the temperature. That's all I'll say.
Hey, it was 81 here. Not a bad day.
There you go.
I'll take it. All right, that's it. That's our show for us. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Listen, we probably will end up having to do the same thing next week because there's probably zero chance I'm going to record an episode in the middle of a series. So it may be Thursday before you hear from us again.
That'll be Friday. Games next week. Hold on, the games next week are Wednesday, Thursday.
No. We're not going. We're not playing all these games. Yeah, we're not playing all of them.
Okay.
We might be.
Sorry.
We're going to win 3. We're going to win the first 3.
Wait. Hold on. Before. So, and you know what? You don't need to sing me happy birthday. I want your prediction right now. What's this series going to go?
I think we win 3-1.
Here we go. There it is, folks. Cubs in 4.
Cubs in 4.
Well, let's do it. Let's knock it out. I want Freddie Peralta tomorrow. It's going to be exciting. Yeah, I couldn't do a watch along with you folks. I wouldn't sit down. I don't have one of those cameras that follows me around. I have to wear one of those weird selfie stick things.
Yeah,
there's enjoy the Twitter banter.
Zero chance I could do that.
Yeah, enjoy the Twitter banter. That's the best you're going to get from this show because we might be dead by the end of it.
Because I'm watching from under a rock somewhere.
Go Cubs, go.
Go Cubs, go.